So the first thing I did this morning was notify, obviously, the elected officials there, or attempted to, if I couldn't get a hold of them, left them a message. I did speak with the city manager, made sure he was briefed accordingly. Our communications director has been in contact with their public information officer, so for the city, and not for the police department. So they're, we're exchanging information, keeping them up to speed with the investigation. Obviously, this affects city business, his position on the commission. So they're going to have to make some decisions, based on what their charter states and state laws with elected officials. But that's kind of in their purview. Right now, we're just focused on the criminal investigation, keeping them up to speed, and moving forward from there. Yes, ma'am.
Did he say anything to law enforcement at the traffic stop?
Not directly related to this case. It was kind of a tactical intervention type traffic stop. There was a ruse, and but once he was brought back here, explained the charges. He was cooperative with detectives here, but there's a lot to follow up on that. But he was taken into custody without incident, though.
Does that mean that he did confess to the crimes he's accused of?
I would say that he admitted his role in these and was very remorseful, obviously. I think mainly because he was caught, and the fact, this is a very, obviously a big case, and there's a lot of penalties associated with that. So the gravity of the situation, I think, was hitting him at that time. But he cooperated, pretty good with our detectives this morning. Yes.
This may have been covered in some.
It's okay.
You said earlier, but I just wanted to make sure. When you said I guess you guys have seized a bunch of electronic devices, storage devices, computers, that sort of thing.
Yes.
And presumably you'll be searching that for any kind of inappropriate images, child pornography type stuff.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going to be doing a full examination on all his electronic devices to see if there is any more evidence to be gained in this case, and to possibly see if there's any other victims that might be out there. Yes, Tyler?
You may have already touched on this, but how long did this communication last between Taylor and the victim?
How long was the communication? Been a couple months.
So beginning of the summer of 2024 till...
Well, that's when they came forward with in 2024 of August, and then we got notified in May of 2025. And, in just that short time, they were able to put this case together. They just worked very hard on this case. So I'm very proud of the work that they did on this.
What was the trigger that forced the arrest, that made the arrest? Was there, because it was from May until now.
Yeah, so, there's a lot of stuff you have to go through. You have to go through the messages, the IP addresses, the images themselves, see if you can identify somebody. It's just not something where you can look at and go, okay, we're going to make an arrest right here on the spot in May. You want to make sure you do your due diligence. And again, our arrests are based on probable cause. We work very closely with the state attorney because they have to prosecute this case much higher standard, like we've talked about in the past. It's got to be beyond a reasonable doubt. There's no doubt in my mind, based on the images and the communications that were going on, that he knew he was talking to a minor. He could be identified in these photos, and they were explicit and just, I wouldn't even, inappropriate is not even the word, to say that for an adult dealing with a minor. Yes, sir.
In these chats, Snapchats or whatever, did he say that, oh, I'm a 38-year-old guy, or did he try to say that he was a 11-year-old boy, or?
What was his communication?
He said he was an adult.
Yeah, so according to the detective, he said he was an adult, and during his interview today, he basically admitted he knew this girl was a much younger age, around 13 years of age. Yes, sir.
Was Taylor home during the search warrant?
He was leaving, we believe, for work this morning. He was stopped on the street during a traffic stop.
So he wasn't home during the execution of the search warrant?
No, he was brought back here. Yes, sir.
This kind of highlights the issue. A lot of times in cases like this, they use Snapchat for communication, thinking that it's not permanent, but obviously through communication with the police department in Illinois, all of that can be traced back if there's a crime like this.
Correct? Sure, correct. Yes?
There's quite a few pages of redacted messages between Taylor and the victim here. Is this kind of a lot of communication compared to other crimes you've investigated that are similar?
There's a lot to go through there, and we're not done with the investigation. That's why it needs to be redacted, and the leads we're going to go on. So it's just there's so much information in a case like this, and it's so technical with, like I said, the IP addresses and the computer codes. It's like speaking a different language. Thankfully, we have people like Detective Wax who specialize in this. They're trained in this. They understand it. So we have a lot to go through, and I think this is just the beginning of a much larger investigation moving forward.
Have you guys been in contact with the victim, and if so, how'd that go?
We have not been in contact with the victim. Evanston, Illinois was in contact with the victim early on. We have notified them of the arrest, and we're going to be making sure we follow through with the victim to make sure they get the assistance they need.
One just clarification on the charges. You said 24 felony counts. Were there any additional misdemeanor charges? We saw, I think, some on the press release that looked like they could have been additional charges that weren't felonies, or is it just the 24 counts?
From what I understand, it's 24 counts right now, all third-degree felonies, which carry up to 5 years in prison for each count. All right. Anybody got a last question? Yes, sir.
Detective Wax spell his name.
WAX.
In the first name?
Eric, ERIC.
Yeah. All right, folks. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Thanks for being here today.
Thank you.